Good evening, viewers. The Idea Factory welcomes you to yet another program. Today, we have a very exciting program with two panelists, and we are going to talk international today. We have with us Professor Dr. Amit Sinha, who is the professor of finance in Bradley University, USA, and we have already introduced him in this program before. We welcome Mr. Dr. Amit Sinha in this program.
Oh, sure. Welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Right. We are also accompanied by Ms. Manmeet Kaur from Bradley University. A short introduction of Ms. Manmeet Kaur. Ms. Kaur has about 14 plus years of experience in the international education industry and has been appointed as an Associate Director of International Enrollments to establish Bradley University's presence in South Asia. Her role is to streamline the admission operations from South Asia and offer a local point of contact for students, recruitments, and agents management. She ensures that advice and services to applicants and partners are of high quality and in sync with the embassy and high commission norms. Her activities involve outreach marketing and promotions, event management, along with developing strong links with key influencers, strategic partners, and stakeholders within South Asia. She also looks after global partnerships along with representing Bradley University at various educational exhibitions, fairs, meetings, seminars, and educational institute visits in India, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, organized by the strategic partners and various tour companies. We welcome Ms. Manmeet Kaur in this program.
Thank you for having me here, Mr. Abir.
Thank you. So today's discussion is, of course, a continuation of our previous discussions. As you are aware that we have a program called Coach on Campus, where we are strengthening the student capabilities and institutional capabilities of campuses within India. And we have a special module for us today, and I'll run you through a small introductory part of that. Right. The term we had used the word coach on compass, but now that we are going pan India, we are going outside our home state. So we have revised the name into coach on demand because some of these would be a online version of our training programs. Also, this is just a snapshot of the modules that we are offering to campuses, B school campuses, typically the BBA and the MBA students, final year students. And these are the modules that we are offering, which we have covered in detail in our previous videos. There are also additional video session modules that we have added up based on the feedback that we have got from the institutes. And we are going to discuss one of the modules that we are showing here, which is higher education in USA. As we all know now, it brings us to a very fundamental question, like why more and more Indian students are interested in doing their higher studies in USA. Now, this is not a new question. It has been happening over the decades. It has happened during our times also. In fact, Dr. Amit Sinha has, is a friend of mine, and he has migrated to US about 2 decades back. And this has been happening all along. But very surprisingly, even now the trend is very high. And even after COVID, we'll be surprised to see from the data that even after COVID, about 7.7 lakh students have gone abroad for higher studies in 2022, out of which most of them have gone for USA, UK, Canada, and Australia. In fact, about 75% of the total students going abroad have gone to these 4 major countries. And of course, there are many reasons for it. The primary reason was, of course, the high quality of education that you get there, the kind of employment prospects that you get there, and also the immigration prospects, of course, because that gives them the ticket to work there and settle down there. So those who are going to study there, most of them have plans of kind of taking up a job at that part of the world and settling down there. So that being major reasons, just let us go a bit deeper into our association with Bradley University through Dr. Amit Sinha. And we have discussed this where we are talking of student exchange programs and enrollment of PhD programs at Bradley University through a structured screening and selection process through various sessions. We are talking of the next year, and of course, so there are methods and procedures. So maybe we'll have a slightly higher understanding of the procedure of getting admitted to Bradley University in the next session. A little bit of just an introduction of Bradley University, just the snapshots, and from here I will hand it over to the experts of Bradley University, that is Dr. Amit Sinha. Dr. Amit Sinha, if you can just give us some light on what are the strengths of Bradley University as a chosen educational institution?
Well, we are a premier education institute in towards the south of Illinois. In terms of the rankings that we have, we are nationally ranked university. We are also, highly prized as far as education is concerned. Lots of people are interested in getting their education, the collegiate experience at Bradley University. And when students come to Bradley University, and then after they have graduated, there are a set of skills, writing skills, some work experience, internship opportunities, and participation in clubs, and a lot of extracurricular activities that go along with the curricular activities. And that's highly valued by employers, and it enriches the experience that the students get while they are here at Bradley University. And I think that, if you are looking for high quality education, it is there. Bradley University is there. But Bradley provides something extra. It provides a path where you can be you. And that really kind of sums up what we are. We want every individual to be comfortable in who they are. And you come to Bradley University as undergraduate students. We are primarily undergraduate students, although we do have a high quality graduate education as well. And that's that philosophy that we have here, where you come to our institution and you discover yourself. That I think is the one thing that stands out very strongly at Bradley University. And I've seen that transformation occur in so many students that have gone through my classes. So I think that's the experience that you get. Manmeet, do you have to add something to it?
So you know better than me, I always say. But yes, so far through my experience being part of the Bradley for 4 years and working closely with Dr. Prasad Shastri and Dr. Amit Sinha, what I've learned is our focus is learning by doing. It's experiential learning. We always say we are not out of top 500. We are not an Ivy League, but Bradley's experience is truly a different Bradley experience. Dr. Abir, you have something to say?
No, I think you are speaking on behalf of Bradley, so I would
Okay.
only.
I thought you raised your hand.
No. Yeah.
Okay. So Bradley University, we say that Bradley University is somebody who is wanting to have the privilege of enjoying two kind of universities, being part of a smaller community university, having access to all resources and getting personalized attention, at the same point of time being part of a larger campus university, having access to all resources. And to cut it short, if I say we are out of top 20 salary boosting schools, that answers to a lot of apprehensions that a student could have before finalizing an institution, and ambiguities that come from parents being the investors about return on investment. It's just the perfect match.
Right. If you can highlight some more about the programs that Bradley University offers, especially there have been inquiries about student exchange programs for a BBA and MBA, or for higher studies in PhD that Dr. Amit Sinha is talking about.
Sure, we do have some doctorate programs, but I don't think we admit international students in the programs. But mostly we have a lot of master's program and high quality math programs in engineering, business, arts and sciences, and And so I'm not sure if there is per se an exchange program, but we do facilitate study abroad programs for students who come at Bradley University. So students do go to some universities, and I think I've heard Europe and South America, they have gone, a number of students have gone there, and we have been able to facilitate those experiences. But you might have to elaborate on what you mean by an exchange program.
Typically, in India, there is a, association where institutes tie up. In the final year, there is a process in which students go abroad for about 6 months or so and finish the last part of the course material in that abroad university and comes back with a certificate. So it's a very, and so when they come out of this college of, say, a MBA program of 2 years, that with an international experience of 6 months, so that gives a lot of credibility to the resume of the candidate that he has got an international stint with it. And many of the colleges that we are talking of, perhaps they would be talking about student exchange programs. Maybe you can take this as a feedback from us.
Okay, I think I get an idea now. There used to be some we used to have a program from a university in Prague where students would come for some time and then maybe they would go back. But if any university is interested in those kind of programs, certainly, if they reach out to us, reach out to me or through you, we can look into it. But I'm not sure, that would have to be customized more than just come over. If students want to do some of our programs, if they meet our requirements, they can enroll in those programs. But for 1 semester programs, because we also value the quality of the education that we provide, so we would have to kind of do some due diligence in who is coming into that program even for a semester, because then we run into some accreditation issues as well. So, those kind of things have to be negotiated to be established.
Sure. I think we will talk about specific cases when we talk to colleges. So that's feedback is very important towards that. Ms. Manmeet, you want to add some points to it?
Yeah. Actually, we have a lot of institutions wanting to tie up on this model that you're talking about. As on date, we do not have any signed up memorandum of understanding with any specific institution here in India. However, I've seen couple of things happening with Amity, Noida, and then a few institutions in Vellore, then in Bangalore that Dr. Prasad Shastri has been working on. However, there's no formal agreement. So he supports students with their research projects and, he supports students sitting here. But as on date, we do not, because it doesn't happen, it's just the memorandum of understanding. There's a lot of legalities required to deliver program in the to the international students in exchange model. And as on date, we do not have anything to work on it. So yes, as I mentioned in my email as well, for undergrad students, there's always a transfer in process. So there's a fresh first time applicants application portal, and then there's a freshman application, and there's a transfer application portal. So undergrad students can take the entry at any stage, and their processes, their documents, be it they're onshore or offshore, but they'll be evaluated as international students only. However, talking about master's students, I haven't seen anybody traveling from here, seen students taking transference in the first or second semesters being onshore. Yeah.
Right.
So there's no specific model as on date is what I'll say.
Right. I think let's take that at that level only. Since we are also, on informal discussions and not talking of a formal agreement. So maybe we can talk in greater detail if specific queries come in. This is just for our information when we go talk to these schools every month. Okay. Any highlights you would like to talk about the eligibility criteria for admissions? What are the processes? What are the indicative costs of the program, etc., and perhaps job benefits as well?
Okay.
Let me address the job benefit, and then Manmeet can give you the
Sure,
details
sir.
about the admission criteria. Employers value our education. And we do provide high quality education, and the training that's cherished by the employers. And we have a career center that helps students get jobs. We have job fairs, and students can meet potential employers through those job fairs. And as you had put on your the statistics, 90, 91, or somewhere between 90 and 95, this varies from year to year, of our students are upon graduation are in the field of their interest. And people's interests change over a period of time, but if they are pursuing a particular line of education, they end up in that. Some undergraduate students go on to do PhD, master's programs. Some masters go on to do PhDs, and so on and so forth. So most people are gainfully involved in the field that they are interested in. So that's very satisfying as an outcome for any institution, and personally as a professor as well. Manmeet.
Yeah. So talking about entry criterion, we undergrad application is free of cost. For grad, we require $40. English language ability remains standard for undergrad and grad. We accept either an IELTS of 6.5 or a TOEFL 79 or a PT 56. E3 PT, I don't know how many people are acquainted here, but that is another English language ability test that we can accept. Wherein we are not looking at subsection requirements. We just look at the overall scores. And then Duolingo is something which is very popular these days, but then we don't accept it. Talking about the academic strengths, undergrad students should have a minimum GPA of 3.5. However, for undergrad admissions, extracurricular activities, working for the cause of community matters a lot in acceptance of an application. For grad, it is 3.5 for 3.0 GPA. However, students with 2.5 plus, we do encourage them in case their profile is a progressive profile. There are a couple of STEM programs that does require GRE, and there are few STEM programs where GRE is not even needed. Wherever needed, it is 288 plus. And for there are two programs where we require GMAT as well. So it is 488 plus. Talking about graduate programs in specific, we focus a lot on engineering and IT programs. And most of these are STEM designated. Under the business school, we have a business analytics program, data science analytics, which focuses on business analytics. That's a STEM designated program. Cost for an undergrad student, it is $39 to $48 USD per annum. And graduate is $1039 per annum. And most of the programs would range between 30 to 34 credits. And most of the programs range again within 2 years. There are very few that would be, the duration would be 1 or 3 years. That is it. Do you think something that I've missed out should be added?
No, I think you did. You did good. Obviously, everyone's profile is unique, and everyone's profile is analyzed before a decision is made. Those benchmarks that Manmeet mentioned, those are kind of the it's not a be all or end all. So that's what she was also trying to say, that even if you don't meet, still go ahead and apply. And there are students who come up. I recently met with a student who has a very low GPA, but at the low end of the GPA, and in his college career at Bradley, he has a perfect 4.0 GPA so far. So we kind of try to look at every single student from that perspective. And if a student is making an effort and it can be demonstrated, that might be acceptable. And that's why what Manmeet was saying, don't let any of these things either stop you or you feel encouraged you're going to get in. Put in the application, take the risk, or take the chance. So that's what I would add to what Manmeet.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir, for adding this.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I think that gives a very good snapshot of the typical criterions that are required. Maybe we come to the last question of the whole topic as to, like, fundamentally the question is, why does Idea Factory, I mean, what is the role of the Idea Factory in this whole exercise of connecting Bradley University to these schools in India? I think this is typically, as I told you, it kind of fits into our programs of, making the Indian B school stronger. And, this is so typically what would be our role other than, associating both of them together. I think Idea Factory will do a bit of a guidance process for the B schools in India before, they are thrown over there. So typically we would be able to groom and guide students who are having ambitious programs. And typically, since our target segment are basically the tier 2 and the tier 3 B schools in India, obviously many of the students would need the grooming and the guidance for trying out abroad. Okay, so typically it means a lot of responsibility of hand holding the students, those who are going from here to there, to the extent that they get admission or whatever. So there would be a lot of a bit of a hand holding process of fine tuning the entire procedure. Of course, that also means a bit of back and forth between Bradley and us, and also with the college. Also, it is important for us to understand that, as I told you, the student exchange program is a query that stays in our mind, and maybe we come back with more queries or specific queries from India, because we are connecting for the BBA and the MBA programs, and typically student exchange program could be a great attractive carrot for getting students enrolled into these B schools in India. So that we could come back with more queries on that. And overall, our efforts will continue to improve the standard of the students in the B schools in India, as well as improve the standards of the institutes themselves. Also, going abroad is also a benchmark for the Indian B schools to know that we prepare or churn out quality students. I think that's a statistic that they often furnish or even talk about, how many students have got abroad education. So that's a very important statistic that B schools are measuring in India in their overall competition within India as well as worldwide. Sending students abroad is an important parameter to measure. So maybe we would like to play a slightly hard role, because we are actually trying to make the education system in India stronger. At the same time, we must also understand that the Idea Factory is basically India born, and we have a responsibility to make India more stronger. So we would also like to align Indian institutes to international standards, because this would also mean a lot of Indian institutes will, especially the tier 2, and that they have to have a catch up to meet the international standards at various levels, and we might play a role in that. At the same time, we also may have a responsibility in future. While we start with this process, in future, we may have the responsibility of even getting foreign enrollments in Indian institutes, because that would also be a measure of the quality of students that they have. By foreign students, we may not look at the developed economies, but definitely the neighboring economies, or some other countries where these institutes become the center point of enrollments from these. So there's a lot of work for us to do to make these Indian institutes stronger, and definitely an association with Bradley University will go a long way in starting this process of making the academic system stronger in India as well as abroad. We are in the process, as you can see, and we have talked about this in our previous sessions also, that we want to make India a global knowledge hub by 2030. While it's easy to say that, there's a lot of work that has to be done around that, and we have just started the process. So I think that's a finishing note from our side, from the Idea Factory, and we will thank all the speakers for being in the session, and we also thank the viewers who would view this session today as well as tomorrow. And of course, they will come with their specific queries, and through which we will be able to participate in a more direct conversation around the specifics of the requirements of students from the Indian B schools. Thank you everyone for your participation, and we will come back with more programs very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.